I won't mention the other corporates or other financial institutions on how they tackle these issues in these areas in our lives. But one thing that I will commend this team is that you do it from a holistic point of view. It's not just slapping a pink thing because it's October month, or just being there, or suddenly your social media pages change and then everything goes back to normal. So the approach that you're doing is incredibly important because there's still going to be a lot of unlearning from ourselves. And as we move along, so kudos to you and the team. The reason why I was so excited when you showed that the report from the other foundation, I'm actually the co-chair of the other foundation, so I wanted to speak about it. And we're very, very excited. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the event last night. But we're very, very excited in terms of the stance and where we are on getting access to grassroots communities across the continent. So the other foundation is an African trust who supports LGBTQI communities and NGOs in the SADC region. Okay, so about me. So for those of you who might recognize my face, if you do, you're showing your age. So but in a previous life, I was an actress. Over the years, during my time when I started, somebody said to me, "You literally had two careers as you've been working through." So I had my media career, which has been incredibly successful. It's come with many challenges, many joys. But I also had my activism career. So I was trained through People Opposing Women Abuse, which is a women's organization, and that was already in 2004. And it was at a time where we didn't know why we needed to do what we needed to do, but we needed to get the education. So we did the feminist political education through the organization, did an intensive training course about understanding what abuse is. And why I joined that was 9 years prior. I was in an abusive relationship with one of my first boyfriends ever. And it took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that it was never my fault. I came from an incredibly privileged background where my foster father, no fault of his, always said to me, the minute somebody raises their hand to you, walk away. But unfortunately, we were never told about the other levels of abuse. So the emotional, the financial, the psychological, and this is exactly what this perpetrator had done to me. And so I took it upon myself was that because of the small circuit that I was in, I had this public persona. And I thought, how do I create awareness, but create awareness in an authentic way? So I joined Power so I could understand these issues. It's about, back then we didn't call it GBV, we called it violence against women. And me being the virgin that I was, I had to go into the internet cafe and get all the necessary information. It was way before Blackberries, way before iPhones. The whole dial-up network, yes, I'm showing my age. And so I put this whole beautiful speech together and everything, and it's spoke from the heart. And it was that day that I realized that although I have my privilege, and I'm talking about it, what had happened to me, I'm not alone. But also more importantly is that there's so many other people out there who also blame themselves, and so that's why they moved into my activism career. And then later on, as I moved through, realizing that although I'd come out when I was at university as a bisexual woman, I realized I still spoke from a place of privilege. And this was very, very evident when I started to travel across the continent, particularly Uganda, which is one country that I've fallen in love with from a spiritual and a geographical position. But the time when I lived there, and actually understanding the real threat and the real fear of living in a country where you could be incarcerated simply because of who you are. And that for me really, really stood its ground. And